Today is just a daydream, tomorrow will be cast away. The next song is Fading Out. Fading Out is Be Here Now's version of the likes of Columbia or Hey Now or Swamp Song. One of those songs that completely shifts sort of the tone of the album during the Gweezy Bonehead era that they were in. They would put this into the middle of the album just to completely shift the energy, so it's not all just four to the floor rock. And Fading Out, I think, is a really good example of them doing that. It's sort of been lost in the sort of history of the band because there was just so many good, so many great songs that this one, because it's a deep cut out of Be Here Now, it's lost. It's sort of struggled to find its sort of place in the pantheon of Oasis songs, but I think it's really good. It's, from what I can gather from the lyrics, and they're pretty sparse. The lyrics, the imagery is like fun fairs and daydreams and all this. So I'm gathering it's sort of a come down or a hangover that he's trying to describe. That today is a day we just zoom in and out of just the general, not consciousness, but just spacing in and out, and you're not really taking the day in because today is just a daydream and tomorrow will be cast away. It features Johnny Depp on slide guitar, and they had Paul Weller on Champagne Supernova doing slide guitar, but this was in terms of getting guest stars of that sort of caliber or level. Like Johnny Depp, he wasn't as big a star as he would become in the 21st century, but he was still properly a household name at the time. He would have been making movies at the time like Ed Wood or Donnie Brasco, like some of the best movies in the 1990s. Certainly some of the best American movies in the 1990s, and he could have been a pretty boy sort of Orlando Bloom type, where he sort of he's just there to be a dreamboat, but Johnny Depp never really did that. He never really followed the sort of expected route. He was a dreamboat back in the 80s in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, and then he sort of branched off to do stuff really, really unexpected, and showing up in the middle of a wildly anticipated Oasis album when people probably didn't even know he sort of had any musical chops at the time was a big deal. Like I'll call him John Joe Depp. He's gone on now, he's created a band that he plays in Los Angeles called the Hollywood Vipers, or Hollywood Vampires or something, but it's himself and I think one of the band members from Alice Cooper, possibly Alice Cooper himself, and they just do weekly shows when it suits them, but here he is playing slide guitar, and it is good slide guitar playing. Like I'm not a guru of the art of slide guitar or anything, but like it's really effective the way it sort of sews itself into the sort of vibe of the song. As I said, the song is very ethereal, and it's not as sort of four to the floor standard rock as the other songs on the album probably would have been. So to jump in with no prior song recording experience that I'm aware of, and be part of the song, and be the guest star, and sort of it does elevate the song quite considerably. Like if it didn't have the guitar riff in it, it would sort of get a bit tiresome, but because the slide guitar keeps it fresh, because the riff sort of invites the listener in, and keeps the thing ticking over, and keeps it fresh, keeps it interesting. It's a valuable contribution to the song. I'm assuming he got the phrase "fading out" from the audio desk, like an actual proper audio desk that a producer would have in front of him with like 5,000 sliders. One of them obviously is "fade out." They do fading out, or fade outs aren't really as sort of prominent as maybe they used to be. It used to be a great way of just coming out of a song, you know, you'd have a big long jam at the end, and then the producer would just slowly fade out. And then if you want, yeah, and you would have to fade back in again. But you know, so it's a phrase from sort of, maybe it's a bit of an inside baseball sort of thing. Like, it is a phrase from audio engineering that he would know because he was a former roadie, and you know, obviously he was very hands-on with the recording process. I don't think it really matters. Like, it's not a song about the lyrics. It's not a song about the. I think there only is about 20 or 40 different words in the whole song. Like, and there's only 3 or 4. There's only about 10 unique lines of lyrics in the whole song. So it's not a song that's lyrically heavy. It is more about bringing an atmosphere and a vibe, and as I said, it completely switches the energy from, if you're doing a listen through of Be Here Now. So the song leading in was obviously what we had last, which was actually, sorry, we skipped over the Girl in the Dirty Shirt. The Girl in the Dirty Shirt is a bit more sort of standard guitar songs. It's not one of my favourite songs. It's probably, yeah, so that's not one of my favourite songs, and of Oasis, The Girl in the Dirty Shirt, so we have skipped over that. But this does sort of re-steer the car, and now we're heading into the second half of the album, which does have a few gems on it, which will be coming up. Some of them will actually be coming in. But yeah, fading out, perfectly fine, you know, album track. I was about to say album filler, but it's more than album filler. I would say Girl in the Dirty Shirt is album filler. This is a song that sort of stands on its own 2 feet, and you can listen to it in a shuffle, and it still sort of holds its own. But stick around, number 39 is coming up next.